Okay, so we're going to do the second example now of placing a paper trade. If you're a complete beginner, this is carrying on from the last beginner session, how to place a paper trade. This is the way to practice risk-free until you get good. And it's what everybody should do. It's a fantastic way to check that you can make good money before you even start with real money. So let's carry on. But by the way, I probably should have mentioned, once you are good at this and you've mastered your paper trading and you're doing well and you want to open a stockbroker account or a spread betting account, if you're in the UK, spread betting is an excellent way to do trading. Very easy to let you trade up and down and trade indexes and all kinds of things. If you're trying to decide which account to open, again, I've spent years and years and had so many different accounts. I've put up there should be a link on the video site now, which is the spread betting company that I found are the best or the most reliable for basically doing what you need to do. And I found the stockbroker company that I prefer. You can use those or you can find your own, doesn't really matter. But you've got to open an account. You can't trade until you open an account. So you've got to do that at some stage. You don't have to trade straight away when you open your account. So if you want, you can open your account right now, and as soon as you're ready, you can start trading it. How do you know how to open an account? Very simple. If you click on the link on the video site, it will take you through to the site where you can open an account, and there'll be some kind of button that says open an account, and then it's very straightforward. It just explains the steps. You basically just fill in your details and a few other bits and your account gets opened for you. Very, very simple process. So you can do that now, or you can do a bit of paper trading and then you can do it, but at some stage you do need to open a trading account or a spread betting account. Otherwise, you won't be able to place any real trades. And that's what this is all about. This is all about placing a real trade, starting to make some real profits. So, and I should say, taking the first step is always the bit that people hesitate on. I know when I placed my first trade, I think I was shaking when I placed the trade because I was so scared. Was I going to get it right? Was I going to get it wrong? Well, part of this program is you're going to see me doing this so many times it should build your confidence. But you're always going to be a bit nervous when you place your first trade, but you've just got to do it. Just go ahead, do your first trade, make the first trade small. This is after you've proved you can do this paper trading. Place your first trade, make it small so that there's not so much risk. Once you've done your first trade, your confidence will build and you'll start to get better and better and better at this. Okay, so that was a little aside there. Let's get back to this. We're going to do a second example of doing a paper trade. So that's the last example that we just did. Let's get back to where we were, which was we were back in time and we were going from 10109. So let's look at the next chart. We're looking for a paper trade. So would we buy that one? No, I wouldn't. That one's already gone. It's done the similar pattern. Big move up, pause, and big move up, except for it's almost done the second part of the move. Okay, I'm just going to whiz through these. That one looks quite nice. That one was almost the same pattern again. That one's already gone. That's already taken off. Of course, when you're doing your analysis, and you're just getting started, spend a bit of time analyzing shares. Don't rush through like I'm doing. I'm just quickly looking for a good trade. But you're going to need, when you start off, you're going to need to spend some time, do some analysis, spend a few minutes on each chart, trying to work out what's happening. So let's keep going through here. You're going to see me doing loads of this on the trading sessions, so you'll get good at doing this analysis just by watching me doing it so many times. So let's find a decent. That one's quite good. It's taken off, but it's a bit near some resistance here. That one's a bit crazy. That one's okay. We'd want it to pull back a bit because it's just done a big move, so it could do with pulling back a little bit. That one was going up quite nicely, sideways. Actually, let's go back to that one. Yeah, let's do this. I was looking for an example of a short trade. That's the reason I skipped over a few that look quite good, because I was looking specifically for one so I can give you an example of a share going down. Now this one, it's not a perfect trade, but it's good enough for an example here. It looks like it's doing a reversal pattern to go down. It's bounced up, and now it's done 1, 2. It looks like it's going to do another one. So it's doing a reversal pattern. This is either a head and shoulders here, or maybe a double top getting smaller. It looks like it's going to do a head and shoulders pattern. So it'll to drop down here. Now what's the distances? So it's going to go from about 50, that's about 54. That would be where we'd get into the trade if it broke below there. Let's measure this, mark this in. So just there. If it goes below there, that's where you get into the short trade, and you'd want it to go down to, this is the target here. This is really the only stopping point. It should, whoops, I drew that line a bit wonky, let's get rid of it. Should go down to here. See if I can make my line straight this time. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so on this share, it's not ready yet, but let's use this as an example. I'm going to say if it breaks below there, I'm going to buy it. This is my paper trade. So I'll step it forward. If it breaks below there, I'm going to buy it. Has it broken? No, not yet. And it's got to break a little bit below. So I'd say if that's 53 point... Actually, let's have a look what that bar was. That bar, the low was 54. So I'll say if it goes to 53.75, I'll buy it. Oh, what did I just do? I just changed charts. Okay, so if it goes to 53.74, I'm going to short this share, I should say, not buy it, I'm going to short it. So let's have a look. Let's step this forwards. Oh, okay, there we go. Already, we're in the trade. So we would have got in, hopefully somewhere near where I wanted to, my sell short place. So I'd said 53.75 was when I was going to enter the trade. So I'd definitely in on that day. So let's record it. This is the day I've got into the trade. So what do? Company name, which, whoops, let's have a look. Company name, okay, there's the company. Okay, I've got it. Let's type that in. Okay, and the ticker symbol was AVB. AVB. Market, again, let's just put USA. And it's a short trade we're doing. The date we entered the trade. Date we entered the trade is up here, 12/01. So 12th of Jan 09. So 12th Jan 09. Price we entered the trade, well, we already said, didn't we? We said we entered at 53.75. So at 53.75, we said when it drops just below here, we'd enter the trade. So that's what we've done. The reason, well, actually, when we come to reasons, before we did that trade, we should have looked at the indicators, which, of course, we would have done. So let's have a look. Indicators on this day, or coming up to that day, probably the day before, we would have wanted to see the indicators. Can't use MACD. RSI, is it below the 50? There's the 50 line, just there. Yeah, it's way below the 50, so that's good. That's what we want if the share's going down. Volume, okay, volume isn't really telling us much. CCI, is it low? Yeah, it's almost down at the minus 100, so that's excellent. Indicators say this one's going down, so good, that's what we wanted to see. So in our reasons are it's a break below support. Support level was here. That's where you'd expect it to bounce back up if it was going to. If it breaks below there, it's broken below support. So a break below support, RSI below midline, which is a sign of weakness. CCI going down near minus 100% line. which is very weak, which is good. That's what we wanted. Okay, that's reason enough, I think, to get into the trade. So what do? We now take a screenshot. So I press print screen, and I go over here, I right click, I paste, and let's shrink this down. Let's move it over. And oh, actually, I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to hit delete, and let's go back. Oops, here. I want to have one of the indicators up as well, so I can see what was happening. So we'll have CCI up. Let's have them both up. Actually, we'll have RSI up as well. Yeah, why not? Let's have them both up so I can see. And let's print screen. You might even, if you want to get a bit cleverer with this, you might even add an extra box to the right, so you can put a chart here of when you bought with no indicators. You could then have another chart next to it of when you bought with the indicators, and then actually below would probably be easier. So you could have a chart here when you bought with no indicators, and you could have a chart here of when you bought with indicators, and then the same for the sell, so you can see both, because then you'll have a clearer chart. Because when you add the indicators, it shrinks the chart up a bit too much, really. So you might want to do both. But that's just getting clever. If you're just getting started, you're a complete beginner, just do the simple stuff. So let's drop our chart in. With or without indicators, doesn't really matter. And let's shrink it down. Oop, shrink it down again. Okay, there we go. Let's put it there. Oops, move it over a bit. Doesn't really matter as long as it fits closely, well, reasonably closely. We're going to crop it, just chop off the bits we don't need. You probably don't even need to do this. I'm just making it look tidy. So we chop off the bits we don't need. Now I'll keep this open this time because it's got my indicators there, so I can see what indicators I was using. Okay, and there's my chart. So that's fine. So back we go, and let's get rid of the indicators so I can just see the whole chart again. Have we filled in everything we need? The chart's there, all of that information's there. Yeah, that's all fine.